Whew, I can smell that killdozer from here. Smells like my jacket and my boots and the inside of my truck. It's gonna take forever for that smell to go away. So I gotta get loaded up, and I have to come in really short because I don't want to mess up the ground where the tractor tires are. So you see that? That's where the brakes come on. So I don't want to mess up anything beyond here. Right there. So I have to come in and go, whoop, get it on. So somebody was asking if this Stinger axle did anything. Yeah, it does. This is called a California legal. This is a mechanical. There's no accumulator in here. So the entire trailer weight and any load that's on it is placed right here. And this right in here pivots. You can see those clamps there. It's a rubber deal. So this whole, the walking beams hook to this piece right in there, which is this one, and that comes back here, pivots right there. So any pivoting this does, this pivots with it. So if you put 46,000 on those tandems, you're gonna have exactly 23,000 on the Stinger. So that is called a mechanical booster. So let's see if I can get this baby on here. And get it on straight. So I'm still adjusting to these wider pads. It used to be that with the 24s, I'd put the grousers about right here, but with the 27s, I gotta be over. Those levers, you flip them up, and these are the latches that hold the neck from coming off, from pulling the neck off when you pull forward. Then when the neck goes down, there's some tits that go in here, and then this is what you're pulling on, and then those big clips go around these, and that's what holds it up. So I did a video on Instagram loading this up. It's only 10 seconds long. It has like 6 million views, and I had guys that wanted to know why I had the blade up like that. I've got to have the tractor clear to the back. You're not going to pick up that much weight with it all the way forward. You got to have it all the way back. So that's why I do that. Anyway, people are always freaked out about how much that trailer moves, and that's why they're so lightweight. They're full of holes. This is all A514 steel, which is high tensile steel. So you got a thin web that's probably what, 3/8, and then you've got these massive 1-inch webs, flanges on here. Anyway, when I back under that, you're gonna watch that neck flex. You're gonna watch that trailer flex. So it didn't latch. I don't know why we're having trouble this morning. It may be because we're up too high on the block. Let me try this again. So I think we're latched. So this is my device. Boy, she's tight. Usually I can slide it out of there. So I have to release the fifth wheel, pull ahead, hope it stays latched. So as you can see, I kind of went just a little bit too far, but I'm hoping by the time I get backed up that far, I got enough weight on the drivers to do this. pretty tight. Usually what I do is I leave a gap in there so that it comes out easy. Then you take these out, push them on like that, and don't ever forget, always double check, make sure that you have both those latched, because I've made the mistake of trying to back under it with only one latched. Empty, it's fine. Loaded, it'll bend the neck. And then what you got to do is pull out from under it, latch the one you forgot to latch, unlatch the other side, and back under it and bend that neck till it's straight. Ask me how I know. There's that. Now we got to get these. Put them up in here. So the next thing I got to do is get the grease gun and put some grease on those. So this Omega was one of Murray's personal trailers that they hauled equipment with, because not only do they build trailers, but they haul heavy equipment. So this one had these ramps which skid on here, which create a lot of friction. So if you don't put fresh grease on there every time, and you got potential bad underfoot conditions, you're going to be slamming under this in high range reverse. Anyway, they had another design where they put some rollers right here to roll on it, but the best deal they came up with, and they still use them, is you have rollers like this out here and they stick out, and then you're going to use this Jeep frame as the ramp. And then I think somewhere in here you got to build a transition so that it comes up and drops on those rollers. And I've got the kit to do that, but unfortunately, because this Jeep's so wide and the neck is so narrow, it won't work unless basically you put those rollers on. You're going to remove these ramps, but you're going to have to close the Jeep up. This is called an expandable Jeep. There's an air cylinder in there and one up here, and these beams will slide over. And I talked to Doug when he still owned Murray, and he said, well, that was dumb. And I said, well, that's the way it's said. It ain't gonna work any other way. And I said, you know, I could extend the brackets out here and get them out wider. And he said, well, that's gonna put a lot of pry on that. So that's why I haven't changed this over to the outside rollers. Is I'm not sure what I could do to make it heavy enough to not try to tear this apart with all that weight on there. And the last thing I want to do is close that Jeep up every time I load, and then when you get a flat tire you got to spread it, or to get maximum allowable weight after you get loaded. In order to make these spread with a load on them, you put a block here and you pull out, and that'll tip this up, and then those wheels will move in and out pretty easy. But because I never use the expandable feature on this, I just leave it all the way out because of the way it's set up. My rams are rusted shut, and I've got new ones, but in order to install them, this whole assembly has to come out and be separated to get to this ram. That one up there you can get to easy, but this one not so much. So let's see if I can get under this. So that wasn't bad. So that's why I have an 18 speed. When I back in, I put it in reverse overdrive, so I got that extra gear to back under it. So because it's taking the camber out of the trailer, that's what it does to the boards. And usually the other ones flip up, but they're so tight they won't do it. So next thing is we're going to get in it and we're going to pull forward. Oh, the other thing you want to do, make sure your ripper's up. We shut it off, let the blade down on the neck, push it into float, move the tilt, make sure it's laying flat, leave it in the float position, because trailer moves, and if you don't have that in the float, it's gonna wiggle waggle that blade around. So the reason I said to always make sure that the ripper's all the way up is because if it sits on the trailer a long time while you're hooking up or having trouble and the ripper drifts down, it hooks right into here, and that's why that's bent. So these are my flags, and I just put them on here because I've taped these carabiners so they don't come undone. I went into Napa and ordered some more flags. Because you've got to have these ones with the wire in them to pull these things off. Because, I mean, you can't even slide them. They're so powerful. Good magnets. All right, so let's see, after I get done with this, I always go through a checklist. Stinger unlocked, yeah, I never locked it. Fifth wheel's latched, both latches are in. Hook up the air hoses. Glad hands, airlines. Okay, so you have to isolate this system to do all this. So this one will put the air to it. There we go. Release the air. Release the brakes. So anyway, if you got some questions about this, let me know. This trailer has quite a history. It got sold during Desert Storm to the government. Actually, a guy out of Washington State and a guy down in South Carolina, I think, bought it from Murray, ended up selling it to the government to go over to Desert Storm and haul tanks. And it was all decked up, and they unloaded it off the boat, and it just sat in the port in Dubai during the whole conflict, because they had all these 3 and 4 axle non-ground bearing detachables, and they looked at this thing and they're like, what the hell are we going to do with this? This wasn't meant for Saudi Arabia. Anyway, it came back, and the government made them take this back and a bunch of other stuff. So I bought it. This is a 1986 model. I believe I bought this in 92, 93, and I paid $55,000 for this trailer. Today, I'm just taking a wild guess here. I'm gonna guess this trailer brand new would be 300 grand easy. Doug offered to build us a brand new one when I was down there talking to him, looking at trailers. And at the time, in 92 or 3, I think a brand new one was 110,000. So it just goes to show you how worthless the dollar has become. Shows the camera battery being practically dead, and this other one doesn't show the green lights, so it's doing squat. What? 12% battery. Huh. I do not know. Supposed to, this battery pack's supposed to charge the other one. Holy cow. It's broken. Broken right there. Great. Huh. It's only welded on one side. Interesting.